And we have on standby Kehinde Taiga, the National President, Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, CDHR. He joins us from Warri, Delta State, to speak on the proposed labor strike as well as the contempt threat by the federal government. Good evening, Mr. Taiga. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so the Labour seems not to be reneging in regards the proposed strike on October 3rd, despite the contempt threat by the federal government. What's your take on this?
Anyway, the issue of this labor strike is not an alternative to the problem that Nigerians are facing today. Irrespective of whatever that is happening within the Nigerians and the government, that going on strike, the negative impact of strike on the Nigerians than the positive impact on Nigerians. I can remember vividly when we went on that long strike, many students could not return back to school because of what happened within the society. Some of them got unwanted pregnancy, some of the boys, they joined armed robbery and all that. So strike is not an alternative to criticize, neither to correct the errors of the government. And secondly, the labor cannot do it on their own. They need Nigerians. And if we must correct the errors of the government, it must come like a revolution protest, a bill that is guaranteed in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And if the labor seek the assistance and the cooperation of Nigerians, I will say this, that if over 2 million Nigerians are at the front of the Aso Rock for like 5 days, I believe that the government will listen to the masses. But the way the labor are dialoguing with the government, it seems as if they are dialoguing for a personal gain, because the leadership of the laborers were installed by the government, and it will be very difficult for them to criticize the government for the benefit of the masses. So the masses must be included in whatever challenge that we want to challenge or criticize the government in an error of the government.
But don't you think the proposed strike is justifiable now that inflation and high cost of food is, biting hard, and it feels like the government is not being sincere with the labor unions?
See, strike is like a right of laborers. But as it is now, we should also consider the negative implication that will come out of the strike. That is what they need to consider first. And the government are no longer afraid of strike. We have experienced a different strike before now. Even to an extent, we have over 4, 5, 6 months strike. The government are not listening. And at the end of the day, they came up with a different way. No work, no pay. So the government are no longer afraid of labor strike. But rather, until they join hands with Nigerians, and it will come as a form of protest, as a revolution, to challenge the government for implementation of positive policy that will strengthen the development of Nigeria.
Okay, now looking at the NLC and the TUC, talking about sincerity, do you think we have this on the part of the organized labor, taking into consideration the fact that they have been accused of being political in the past?
Definitely, with the TUC and the Labour Congress, as they feel that they are challenging the government, and there is a different discussion that will be ongoing with them within the government, and nothing is coming out of whatever dialogue that they have been dialoguing. And if you look at the situation we are in this our country now, we are seriously in a security threat where no one can sleep with his 2 eyes closed. Encouraging TUC, regardless to this insecurity situation we are facing in Nigeria, there are different ways of tackling this with the government, because all we need in Nigeria is peace and development and democratic system, not a cabacracy system.
So what then do you think will bring solution to the fuel subsidy hardship then?
Definitely, if the fuel subsidy hardship, where government have come out with a palliative to cushion the stress by giving out some rice, sack of rice. I will tell you vividly that in my community, where we have over 4,000 people, 6 bags of rice was brought before the community. That will not cushion the pain, the stress, the agony, the suffering that Nigerians are passing through. What Nigeria need now is to all like the refineries, like the Warri seaport and other, where people can accommodate employment. I'm not talking about the rice. For how long will that palliative rice be served as a cushion to the fuel subsidy that the federal government have removed? Even though I see that language of palliative as another language where government are used as an opportunity to devise the fund of the country. Look at what was given to the state governors, 5 billion naira. How did they spend the money? None of them money. And if government put all this money together to revitalize all our refineries, where our raw materials will be refined in Nigeria, where we can now refine it and sell it within the localities, I think that will cushion the suffering that Nigerians are passing through than sharing a 6 bag of rice to a community where 3,000 persons are. It's purely consequential.
Thank you very much for sharing your opinion with us on the news.
Thank you.
That was Kehinde Taiga, the National President Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, CDHR,